Hey folks, Matt Sharp here with another Pacific Angler Friday Fishing Report. This week we're filming for November 20th, and I missed you guys last week. It was Remembrance Day. We took Remembrance Day off. Usually right now I'd say if it's nowhere near November 20th, click up here. This is where all our Friday Fishing Reports are, and we do it every week. I'm going to change that. We're going to go back to 2 weeks. I'm going to take a break every other week, at least in the off season, in the November, December, January, February range, and then I plan to ramp back up in March next season. So if it is nowhere near November 20th, do click up here. We've probably got something more up to date for you, but I'm gonna have to cover sort of a more general term when it comes to our fishing reports. Now, that doesn't mean there's not great fishing in November, December, January, February. There's some really cool stuff, and ironically enough, you actually have to pay attention a ton to the weather and a ton to your conditions to pick the right day. And so we're gonna talk through a little bit about that now. We've got some cool stuff on the Squamish or any river that has salmon, where we're gonna transition into the egg season, where all the predator species like bull trout, rainbows, cutthroat are going to be targeting eggs. I've got some cool videos to share for you there. I'm guiding this weekend. I'm going to be out on the water looking at that. And so we're going to have some more updates over the next little bit on those styles of fishery. We're also going to talk a little bit about the Vedder because it's out right now as I'm doing this report, as always doing it Wednesday night, but it could be okay for the weekend. We're also going to look at the Squamish on the salmon front as well, because there's still salmon fishing to be had on the three major big systems, the Vedder, the Harrison, and the Squamish. But we have got hit with a lot of rain, so we are going to be on river blowout watch. We're going to walk through all the levels, look at all that stuff. I got some other cool ones for you this week. We've got a fly from Andre called the Foxy Lady. It's kind of a cool bull trout slash predator style pattern. You could use it for pike, or heck, you could use it for warm water stuff. Looks at how to just spin a dubbing loop. If you guys are relatively new to fly tying, that's a cool skill to pick up. We're going to leave links to that and talk you guys through that one. I've also got a good one from Captain Quinn where he talks a little bit about catch and release fishing. Now, this is an interesting one. I'm going to weigh in on why I think he's brought it up right now, because it is sort of sensitive to the times, but definitely one worth looking at. And then maybe a feel good or feel a little bit better one. There's talk of pulling a dam out in the States that could actually affect a river in the province of British Columbia, which is really cool. I'm going to leave links to that. We're going to talk about that in the back end of the report. As always, guys, you want to see more reports like this, consider hitting the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's get into her. All right, guys, thanks for joining me this week. I am not drinking beer this week. I'm going to take a week off the beer, but that's okay. We'll get back to it next week. And on the 2 week thing, I hope you guys feel that's okay. It's actually going to allow us to do some cool product slash tutorial style videos. We're still going to try to release quite a few videos through this channel, but I just need a little bit of a break on the fishing reports. We're not going to do it every week. We're going to go to 2 weeks, but I promise to keep up with it because it's been so much fun coming along the ride with you guys. And then we will go back to once a week, sort of March, April timeframe, when things heat up a bit. But right now, like I said, there's still good fishing to be had, and let's take a peek at weather right off the hop. It's been a weird one. We'll pull up Squamish first, because that's what I'm looking at. I'm going to be out this weekend, but it looks wet. Well, you guys probably know that. You probably hear it outside right now. We're filming Wednesday night, and it's just been pouring all day and for the last handful of days. It's going to continue, unfortunately, but not quite as badly as maybe it was Wednesday. We're going to see 10 to 15 and 15 to 20 Thursday, Friday, but when we look at the air temperature, which is always what we're looking at this time of year, it's quite low. It shouldn't be too low that you can't get out, but we've actually seen water levels dropping in the last sort of 6 to 12 hours, and it is because the temperatures in the mountains above the Squamish area are quite cool. Same thing could be said when we look at Chilliwack. They're getting quite a bit of water, and I heard reports that this morning it was unfishable. It was quite dirty, but oh, that just refreshed on me here. Bear with. But we're seeing 7 degrees on Thursday, 8 degrees on Friday, 8 degrees on Saturday. Reasonably cool nights at 5, 4, and 3. Not much rain on Saturday, might even get some sun, so that could be a cool day to get out there. And we want to pull up the real-time hydrometrics on the Vedder, and you can see that she is, let me just make sure this is the Vedder. Yeah, she's dropping right now as we talked about. That's because it's gotten relatively cold. It's sort of sitting at a 2.2, 2.15. And so the reports I heard were in the morning today, it was too dirty to fish, or at least challenging to fish. So that was sort of a 2.25. Dropping down, I've heard it's a little bit more fishable right now. If I see this continue to drop, you know, it should be in shape. Water levels and clarity are a big deal on the Chilliwack. You guys probably already know this, but it can be low and dirty on this river because there are quite a few areas that slide. But historically, 2.2 is actually not a in the trees number. So it could bode well. Keep your eye on this. If it starts going the other way, I expect it to be dirty and challenging to fish. And definitely if it goes through 2.2, 2.3 on the graph, you're probably better off staying home. But if you see this plummeting over the next couple of days, you know, you wake up on Friday when you guys are watching this and this is dropped down, we'll probably have a really good kick of the can. We've heard still there's some good fish out there, still some fresh fish, which is surprising. Looks like they had a reasonably good season out that way, at least when we're talking fish numbers. Let's pull up the Squamish because that one is also important to look at when we go to the river levels. And so it's sitting at like a 3.5, but it is dropping right now, which is interesting. And that is because of the temperatures. When we pull up the temperatures of the Ilaho, look back to the last couple of reports if you want that little trick on how to look at that. But she's dropping. Now I would consider it out or probably dirty today, probably a real challenge to fish. But again, I'm gonna be watching this really closely because this time of year when we're coming off dirty water is sometimes the best fishing, both for salmon and, you know, if you're looking for target coho up that way, but also when it comes to all the fish that are feeding on the eggs. We're gonna talk about that in a big way over the next sort of month because it's a wicked fishery. As long as the weather's good, you gotta be a bit of a weatherman and pick your day, but using beads or egg patterns on a fly rod or a float rod, if you wanna pick out a light center pin, that's super fun too. Can be really, really productive for bull trout, rainbow, and cutthroat. I'm gonna be up this weekend, and if you guys wanna learn maybe a little bit more about that fishery, look at the technique for doing it with a fly rod, I've got some links I'll put up here to doing some egg style nymphing as well as some setups that we play with, and I'm gonna have a few more of those videos coming soon. Now on the tying side of things, so Andre's got a cool fly. It is called the Foxy Lady right here. It's a cool one. I mean, it's simple. It's fairly easy. Andre's trying to keep patterns simple, but look at key concepts when it comes to fly tying. So all you beginners can jump in, and all you veterans that just want something quick and easy that covers a good base can jump into these patterns as well. This one ties a fairly simple marabou tail, but it's spun and then added on a keel at the top, which is cool. And then the fox or the head of this is done in a dubbing loop. So not too many moves, but these are more, I won't say complicated, but more intricate ways of doing it. So definitely good for you guys beginners to jump in. This style I do a ton, maybe in a different variation, maybe with a trailer hook when it comes to steelhead and or bull trout patterns. And you could definitely use this if you were a warm water guy or going anywhere where bait fish is going to be applicable. All right, on the catch and release video by Captain Quinn, I really like this video. Now it's a sensitive one right now. I'm not gonna get too far into the politics, but everyone, you know, many people believe that catch and release is an excellent way to enjoy time, to learn about the fisheries, to understand the fisheries, maybe even to improve your catch and keep skills when you don't want to catch and keep or you can't. But there is some people out there that really, really don't like the concept of catch and release. I'm gonna leave political ideas and or opinions to you guys, to whoever has them. But it was an interesting talking piece. Brian Nisko is in on it. I've known him for years. I respect what he says. Don't always agree with what he says, but I really do respect what he says. And he lays out some interesting concepts for you guys. I'm gonna leave links at the back end of the report, but I'm gonna leave links up here too if you guys wanna take a look at that, sort of at 1,000 or 20,000 foot moral level of what we're doing when it comes to catch and release, and some interesting concepts there. Now on the maybe feel a little bit better story. Now I saw this in my feed on Facebook and I see it here on Fishing with Rod, and it's a Vancouver Sun article where they might be considering taking down a dam in the States that feeds the Similkameen River. Similkameen River is really cool. You guys probably drive by it when you're sort of doing Crow's Nest area if you go up to the Skagit, and it could be really interesting. It could breathe life back into a river that though has some decent trout fishing on it. Could have more. I mean, could have summer run steelhead, could have, you know, a salmon run on the lower river that maybe doesn't reach up, but the whole biomass of salmon coming into a river can change it, but usually make it much more alive, much more healthy. So that's kind of cool. I'm gonna leave links down in the description to that. You want a little bit of a science geek out, but something fun, something interesting, and something we should keep our eyes on, because if we can push the meter in the right direction when it comes to them taking action on this one, we should definitely do it. All right, guys, that's everything I've got for you this week. Get out fishing. It looks good if you watch those river levels. Could be one of the last good weekends for salmon fishing. If you want to see that egg fishing video that I talked about here, I'll leave that there. I'm gonna put Andre's video here, and I'll move my head really quickly, and I'll throw up Captain Quinn's video here so you can take a peek. As always, guys, if you want to see more reports like this, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I won't catch you next week, but I will catch you the week after.